I'm Harrison Graham. Here's what we got coming up on this episode of Bears Now by Chat Sports. Jim Harbaugh Bears rumors are resurfacing. What's true? What's false? What could have gone down last offseason? We're going to dive into all of that, plus some major injury updates for the Bears as they get ready for their matchup with the San Francisco 49ers. So going to dive into all of that. Speaking of that matchup, we'll be live on Sunday at 2:15, I think, for a 3:25 kick between Chicago and San Francisco. If you see this thumbnail, you'll know you're in the right place. So subscribe, join us for that, turn on those notifications so you know exactly when we go live. All right, Dan McNeil tweeted this out earlier today. He said, Jim Harbaugh wanted to talk to the Bears in January, but Kevin Warren quashed it via a longtime team employee. Harbaugh expressed interest in the head coaching job. The staffer told Ryan Poles, who told Warren. The president dismissed it summarily. Hashtag I bear witness. Now, if you remember, we reported on this show, and we don't often get scoops or info like that, especially of that caliber, but we did a full video on this, that we were told by someone in Harbaugh's camp that he was interested in this job. Now, I said at the time, doesn't mean you would have gotten him. Still might have ended up going to the Chargers. But we were told he was interested. He played here. He liked the idea of rebuilding this franchise, just like he rebuilt Michigan. Ultimately, the Bears did not fire Matt Eberflus, so it became a moot point. But that is what we were told as well. Mike Lombardi hopped on the Pat McAfee Show today and said this. He basically confirmed what that report was, saying Kevin Warren is running that Chicago Bears team, and that story about Jim Harbaugh is completely true. Jim Harbaugh would have loved to work for the Bears and the Raiders. Imagine keeping Antonio Pierce over Jim Harbaugh. That might be worse than Eberflus. But neither team decided to go after him. Now, our good friend Sears Tower, who's been right about a lot of things, said, this is absolutely false. Jim Harbaugh never seriously considered the Bears, and Poles was never going to hire him. Warren didn't squash anything because there was nothing to squash. Now, look, what was true, what wasn't? Again, it kind of goes back to the who really hired Matt Eberflus. I think Poles had final say, but was he kind of forced into him? I don't know. The bottom line is this. Why not take a swing? Why didn't they at least put their hat in the ring to try and get this guy? Because of Matt Eberflus, you had to keep Matt Eberflus. I said at the time, Matt Eberflus has not proven enough to not try and go after Jim Harbaugh. If anything, he had proven enough to show you that he likely was not going to be the answer long term. They decided to keep him, whoever made that decision, and give him a third season despite changing quarterbacks, which was my main reason of saying change head coaches, line them up, because even if you don't get Jim Harbaugh, you can get someone else. Albert Breer said he thinks Ben Johnson could have very well taken this job if it had freed up last year. So it's not like it had to be Harbaugh or bust. It's like, oh no, what if we fire Matt Eberflus and we can't get Jim Harbaugh? I don't know. You just pick another coach. Matt Eberflus stinks, and that got even more proven this year. So regardless of this is true, that's true, it's false, it's halfway true, I know this, Matt Eberflus was not a risk worth losing to take that swing. So they absolutely should have tried. I don't know if they would have ended up with him. Maybe it goes the same way anyway and he goes in L.A. I know this, though. You wouldn't have had this Matt Eberflus disaster that took place this season. So that's what's frustrating about it. But you got to focus on the here and now, and that's getting it right this time around. But obviously Bears fans are skeptical, and we should be at the end of the day. What is your confidence level that the Bears will hire the right coach? Scale of 1 to 10, 10 being very confident, 1 being not at all. I mean, you'd have to say it's a 2 or less. The only reason you'd slightly raise it is because you feel good about the quarterback you have, and maybe even if it's not a home run, it could still work. But I can't say with any confidence it's higher than a 2 for me. All right, let's take a look at some Bears injury news here in just a moment. There's some good news. There's some not so good news as we are 3 days away from the Bears heading out to San Francisco to play the 49ers. Before we get to that, though, get going with our sponsor, Rocket Money. It's a personal finance app that can help you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions. It'll help you monitor your spending and lower your bills so that you can grow your savings. Listen to this. Most Americans think they spend about $62 per month on subscriptions. The reality is that number is closer to $300. That is literally thousands of dollars per year. And listen, I got plenty of subscriptions I sign up for and I'm happy to have. But when I first got going with Rocket Money and it listed out all my subscriptions on one screen, there were about 3 or 4 that I was like, yep, not using that. Nope, don't even remember signing up for that. And then now I'm saving a lot of money per month because of it, and you can do the same. Get started today at rocketmoney.com/bearsnow. That's rocketmoney.com/bearsnow. If you want to cancel those subscriptions, click cancel next to the ones you don't want. A few clicks later, they will end up taking care of the rest for you, and they'll deal with the customer service. That way you don't have to, because there's nothing worse than the email of, oh, you sure you don't want to stick with it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I want to cancel this subscription. So sign up today, rocketmoney.com/bearsnow. 5 million users and counting with Rocket Money. You should be one of them. And members could save up to $740 per year. Awesome deal. Take advantage today. All right, you take a look at the Bears injury report. These 6 players did not practice today. Still got Ryan Bates and Roschon Johnson in the concussion protocol. DJ Moore and DeAndre Swift still did not practice with the quad issue. We'll see what Friday looks like. You're hoping they're just trying to get those guys in the training room and get them back up to speed. Got to be tough if both those guys are out, especially with Roschon. We'll talk running back in a minute as well. No worries about Marcedes Lewis, just a rest day. Elijah Hicks, I would expect him to be out still. These 4 players were either limited or full. Keenan Allen, Darnell Wright, both full participants. That's good news. At least one of DJ or Keenan's going to be back. Keenan's going to play there, so that's a positive. Darnell Wright as well after getting carted off last week. Looks like he's good to go. Kevin Byard limited with the shoulder injury, then Coleman, Shelton with the knee. Keep an eye on both of those because you're thin at safety right now. And Coleman, Shelton, if he can't go, probably looking at Doug Kramer being your center this week. Let's take a look at running back, because if DeAndre Swift and Roschon Johnson are both out, I'm still hopeful on Swift. Remember the week before he had this quad thing, didn't practice much during the week, played on Sunday. I'm hopeful he can go, but I would guess Roschon's out. I don't think he's going to clear concussion protocol. That means if they're both out, Travis Homer and Demetric Felton are your 2 running backs. That is not an ideal situation. I mean, Caleb, get the arm loose, bud, because you're going to be throwing it a lot. I don't think Travis Homer is someone who's going to run the ball 20 times. Now, maybe Felton can handle 10 to 12 carries, Homer 8 to 10, but short yardage, you're not going to be running the ball with these guys. So it's going to be a pass-happy plan, which is what it's been mostly recently anyway, because you face some really good stout running defenses like Detroit and Minnesota, but you got your top 2 backs out. You're going to be throwing even more. So hopefully the Bears are prepared for that scenario. I also wonder if Tyler Scott could play some this week, especially if DJ Moore is out. I've been waiting for it all year. I don't really have expectations at this point, but I think if you think about all the crazy things that have happened this year, one of the most quiet ones that I've been disappointed with is that Tyler Scott has basically not played at all. I don't know what the reason is. I wonder if that could change under Thomas Brown. I'm not sure. But if DJ is out, you would think Scott would at least be active, which he hasn't been in recent weeks, and could at least have an opportunity. Bears 49ers this Sunday. This line has fluctuated a bit. Niners are a 3.5-point favorite. They got a ton of injuries as well, though, with McCaffrey, Jordan Mason on IR. We'll see when it comes to Trent Williams and some of those other guys, Bosa as well. But I like the Bears. Let me know who you got. CHI for Chicago, SF for San Francisco. Who do you guys think wins on Sunday? Maybe I'm a sucker, maybe I'm an idiot, but I think the interim head coach boost will take place here, and I like the Bears to win this game. The Niners are really banged up, not playing good right now. The Bears have actually been playing decent. They just haven't been able to finish games. I think they get one here, 28-20. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Chicago Bears Now. Appreciate everybody for tuning in to this episode. More episodes throughout the weekend to come here on the channel.